Moving on now, it is the season of strike in Nigeria as more unions brace up for industrial actions. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, says it is embarking on another round of strike and has given a deadline to that effect. According to ASUU, the imminent strike is inevitable as the federal government failed to implement agreements it signed with the union. ASUU President Professor Emmanuel Osodoke said government has between now and the month end to reach out to the union after refusing to pick his calls. This is funny. Was he calling the labor minister or the education minister BC?
He's calling. Well, no, I think he's calling the labor minister because labor minister is actually in charge of the negotiation with the labor union. But why I laughed is because the month ends tomorrow, and that means that. We are
so short.
But seriously speaking, why is it that governments always find it difficult to implement agreements it reaches with labor unions?
They are quick to sign agreements.
They are quick to sign and
but
very reluctant to implement. We still have the resident doctor strike on ground.
The enemy is still threatening. Enemy has given the same ultimatum of 21 days to join the resident doctors.
The same pattern, agreements that are not implemented. Now, I read the Labour Minister's response to ASUU's notification and or notice rather, and Minister Ngige is saying that that a body has already been instructed to test the UTAS that ASUU proposed as against the IPPIS, which is one of the major problems that is causing that elongated the last strike. But you see, we need to ask ourselves how serious we take issues of education or any other issue at all in this country. If we know that this is a strike that paralyzed the university system for a whole academic session.
In the year 2020.
In year 2020, the year of COVID. Initially, they were taking COVID as an excuse, but at the end of the day, we saw how other nations moved on with or without COVID concerning their education. But we all lost a whole academic year to ASUU strike last year. So if that happened,
and this year it has been threats against threats,
we should have expected, one would have expected that the federal government or the labor minister would take this issue more seriously and not wait till the time that ASUU will be making calls and they will not be picking the calls. I don't think that these people really care about our university education. I'm sorry to say that, because if we do, I expect to see a greater level of commitment and seriousness. But the truth of the matter is that people think when they have enough money to send their own children to go and school abroad, that the children of the poor
don't matter,
or they don't matter. But we have seen from time to time how children of the rich are also being killed unnecessarily, which is very sad. You see, America today, we assign 3 people to take care of the sick, the people that do not have the means to actually contribute much to the economy. That is why most of Nigerians or people that go there, they have the jobs, ready jobs to do, because they take care of these people. Now, why are they doing that? They are doing that because they don't want anybody to constitute any form of nuisance to the general society. Until we begin to see that when we fail to do what we are supposed to do, we are actually creating problems for ourselves in general, then we need to start looking at things from that perspective, because it will be sad if ASUU embarks on another strike now. It's not necessary.
Julia, I feel that,
that
sometimes when they give this strike notice, as in when they give this ultimatum, that the federal government should be even proactive enough to meet with these people to try and avert it. Not after the expiration of their deadline, after calling out the strike, we'll now start sitting down with them.
And that's why ASUU, this last strike, they merely suspended. They didn't call off. When you call off, you must give sufficient notice. But when you suspend, you don't need to give any notice. You can resume the strike when you like. So, and that's what they did. That's what these guys at these resident doctors, that's what they did. Everyone has learned how to handle Nigerian officials when it comes to labor matters, when it comes to negotiating with them, because they usually don't honor their word. The whole idea of the last strike that terminated in December was to bring government to agree to renegotiate the agreement reached in 2009. Since 2009, a lot of the demands that ASUU made at that time have not been honored. Some of them not even touched at all. For example, and in this case, out of 8 items, only 2 items have been met. And the second one was even partially met. That is the issue of salary shortfalls and the rest. They came up with UTAS to replace IPPIS because a lot of the civil servants do not think highly of the IPPIS. People's salaries are needlessly slashed. And then the issue is the university system cannot function.
Quite different.
Yes, you have to allow for certain, you have to be
lecturers,
flexible. Visiting lecturers, visiting professors from even schools abroad.
Yeah.
We saw, at least during our time, we saw academics who came all the way from the US to do sabbatical here. The IPPIS thing will not allow for such people to be paid. And we have a situation in which Nigerian lecturers, some of them actually have, they are visiting professors in some institutions within our country. The IPPIS thing will not allow such professors to function. So they are saying, look, this is the way it is all over the world. You have visiting professors everywhere. We too have benefited from them. Now, why don't we allow for flexibility to happen? We have an alternative to this. If you are talking about transparency, we have the University Transparency and Accountability System, UTAS. Let us try that. It's been demonstrated to them, but government is reluctant to let it work.
Why do you think so?
Now, I don't know. Even if you take that one off, how about the other 5 items that if not met, is going to be 1 year soon? No, let's even leave the last strike. The last strike. You know,
the one that is during the COVID period.
Yes,
2000.
It was called off in December. Now,
from January.
Now we are moving close to 1 year since that one was called off. The issues have still not been addressed. What, for example, I also said, why don't we renegotiate the agreement reached in 2009? If we do not negotiate the agreement, then we will go on strike. Government then set up the Mozalin Jibrin committee to negotiate it. To renegotiate that agreement. Mozalin Jibrin start with ASUU, but they refuse to implement. So Mozalin Jibrin has done his work. You merely use that to stave off a strike and get ASUU to go back to work. Now, if you do not implement, that means all of the findings, all of the recommendations by Mozalin Jibrin amount to nothing. That is, we must treat people with respect. And if you cannot meet, just as the Senate President said, if there are things that these people are asking for that you can't meet, tell them point blank that, look, based on the financial situation that we find ourselves in our country, this is what we can do. This one we can't do. Everybody will know that, okay, this is the thing. But you don't go ahead to sign agreements with people. You sign a memorandum of action with people which outlined all of the demands that they said they wanted. There was no one that you said, no, you cannot do. Then, but to implement almost 1 year after, you can't do anything. That means you are provoking them to another strike. My own concern
this is having a kind of negative impact, you know, on that sector, on the university system. Now, if you go to Cotonou here, the number of Nigerian students in the university. If you go to Ghana, if you go to what's the name? Togo. The same thing. Francophone countries. They employ Nigerians, employ your lecturers, employ everybody, and the students will just change of location. Now, we now have private universities, because you can be able to, you can project that 4 years, you are spending 4 years from 2016 to 2020, your daughter will graduate and move on to the next thing. But now people are at the mercy of these federal and state government universities. So inconsistent.
You know what I said earlier on is the fact that we are not committed to education, not to now mention higher education. Even the agreement that Babajide mentioned, the 30 billion naira that was released is at present with the Central Bank of Nigeria. And how to disburse that money is the problem. Because whether to use UTAS or IPPIS that the lecturers have been complaining about. So the money is with CBN as we speak.
They even said they should share it with
non-academic staff.
Meanwhile, it was ASUU
that even fought for the money.
Was that the agreement?
Now,
I have on the line, I have Elvis from Abuja.
Hello?
Yes, Elvis. Thank you for joining us, Elvis.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
You are live, Elvis.
Okay, thank you. Good evening for a job well done. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And the madam over there, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think I want to talk about the first issue you raised, about the kidnap by the bandista.
Go ahead.
I want to say that the Sultan, he has a direct access to the president. If you want to see the president, even this night, you can go there and see him. Nobody can stop him. So he should not lament on the pages of newspaper. He should go to the president and talk to him one-on-one. We need people that can meet the president one-on-one and talk to him directly, not through the press or through any medium. Thank you. This is my concern. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Well, Sultan was speaking at the interreligious committee events, and that was not the only thing that he spoke about. He even spoke about how religious leaders were inciting people and causing their followers to kill people needlessly, you know. And he said, look, when you push your members to kill people, you are going to hell. Don't deceive yourselves. There were many things that he said. He was just speaking at that event, and the media picked some of what they wanted. It's not as if he called a press conference and was speaking. And it's not possible.
Course, if you have to see the president, you can see him.
You can see the president. You can see the president.
You don't know him as a king that is timid.
One is not even sure. One is not even sure that he has not even discussed with the president.
Yes, yes. The truth is, there are various methods by which you can reach the president. It's not every time you want to speak that you have to call the president. It will get to a point that he will even stop picking your calls. They will think, oh, this person is too pestersome, this person is wila, is too much, you know. And we've seen even people who said, look, I wanted to see the president for so long, I was blocked. There was a minister, if you remember, who said he could not reach the president for months. One minister who was in the oil sector, you know. So what is, people to stop assuming that, oh, once this one wants to speak with the president, the access is guaranteed.
He has unfettered access.
No, it's not. He has not done anything wrong. He has not done anything wrong by saying the things that he said, and I know that the president will address some of those things. Otherwise, some of the things that the president also says to the rest of us, he could say directly to service chiefs. You understand? Some of his plans too, he says his plans publicly. So you can't determine where the president, how somebody gets his message across. This is something that is bothering everyone.
Yes.
If our leaders and everybody kept quiet, Nigerians will still be the ones who are saying no. These people, they are refusing to talk. This and that. And now people are talking. You are saying it should not talk to the press.
Listen, thank you for your
You can't please Nigerians.
Thank you.
It's nice having you. And BK, the beginning of a new week.
Yes.
We hope that before Sunday we get our package ready, and by Sunday we do it the way we did it yesterday. And that's our offering today. Don't forget to join us every Sunday 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. Bye for now and see you tomorrow.